Welcome to the Hansa University of Applied Sciences Groningen. Today we are going to do a self-practice about regression analysis. Let's look at this question. To find the simple linear regression of personal income and auto sales, we have collected data from 5 persons, and we calculate their personal income in euro per day, and then we find who earned 60 euro per day and tends to buy auto 3.1 on average. Person who earns 61 euro per day buy 3.6 auto, 62 euro per day, 3.8 auto. Suppose we know a person who earns 64 euro. How can we predict how many autos he tends to buy? In order to solve this question, the first problem is to formulate a regression, a least square estimation equation. And we use the B and A to formulate the regression. B represents the slope. A is the intercept. And we first expand our table to calculate x times y, x squared, y squared, 1 by 1, and we sum them up, and then we calculate the mean for each one. We get a table something like this one, and then we make use of the equation to calculate the b. Sigma xy, in this case, it is this number, 1159.7. N is 5. X bar is 62.2. Y bar is 3.72. And the next one is sigma x squared. That is the sum of the x squared. 19,359. And N is 5. X bar is 62.2 and square it. When we calculate it, we get 2.78 divided by 14.8. So the slope is 0.19. If we know the slope, we can use y bar and x bar to get the A, the intercept. Y bar is 3.72 minus B is 0.19. X bar is 62.2, and then we get the A, which is minus 8.098. Then we can formulate the equation. The equation is y hat equals A minus 8.098 plus B 0.19 times x. Now we know the person, his daily income is 64 euro. And then we use 64 to replace A. Then we get 4.062. So, if we know the person, his income, we can predict how many cars he tends to buy. Now, let's calculate the standard error. This is the equation of the standard error. Sigma y squared means we squared y number 1 by 1 and then sum it up. So in this case, it is 69.82. A is something what we have just calculated, minus 8.098. And sigma y is 18.6. And B is 0.19, which we have just calculated. And sigma xy is x times y 1 by 1, and sum them up. That is 1159.7. And N is 5. So we formulate the equation and replace the numbers into it. And then we get standard error, which is 0.18. Now let's calculate the coefficient of determination. We use the equation r squared to calculate the coefficient of determination. A is what we have just get, minus 8.098 times sigma y, 18.6, plus b is 0.19 times sigma xy, that is 1159.7, minus n is 5. We have 5 numbers. Y bar is 3.72 and square it. Now, sigma y square is y square and the sum of it, so 69.82, minus n5 times y bar 3.72 and square it. Then we get r square 0.84. In order to interpret the r square, we need to use the percentage. And we say 84% of the variation of auto sales is explained by the variation of personal income. 16% is explained by other factors. This is how we calculate the coefficient of determination. If we want to calculate the coefficient of correlation, it is the square root of r square. So we use the square root of 0.84, and then we get 0.92, which is larger than 0.7. So we say there is a strong correlation. Whether it is positive or negative, we look at the b. Now in this case, the b is a positive number, so we say there is a positive correlation. So the final answer, the final interpretation is there is a strong and positive correlation between personal income and auto sales. So this is how we calculate the B, A, standard error, and coefficients of determination, as well as coefficients of correlation. Don't forget, you need to also remember how to interpret these numbers.